heard it before. If you want to succeed, then dress for success. Dress for the part you want and not the part you have. The apparel oft proclaims the man, said Polonius to his son in William Shakespeare's Hamlet. Because in the end, optics matter, and the right image can spell the difference between a fatally stalled career and an out-of-the-ballpark success. Today, we get a crash course on business etiquette and social graces in the digital age and getting the right image for the most important brand, that is, you. Joining us this morning, image consultant Dina Loomis. Good morning, Dina. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure, Mimi.
And happy Women's Month.
Yes, same to you.
Okay,
yes.
So would you say that Filipinos on the global stage have a fairly good sense of their identity, of their image?
I believe so. Otherwise, we would not have a series of Miss Universe winners. Like 2015, that was Pia Wurtzbach. And then just last year, we had Catriona Gray. And that's not all. I know many successful women entrepreneurs who are able to keep up with all the world-class entrepreneurs also worldwide, and they present themselves well.
It's sort of a very fresh and welcome development, considering that a few years ago, whenever foreigners hear Filipino, they always think domestic helpers, domestic workers.
Yes, yes. There were times when I visited America, for example, and Canada, and they're surprised because in their minds, most Filipino women end up as domestic helpers. And so they are surprised when they meet people who can converse well and who dress well and who succeed in other things that they do. So I suppose it's because for a long, long time we had overseas workers sending money to their families here. And what can they do? They have to do their best to help their families. So it got stuck in minds of foreigners. Most Filipino women are domestic helpers.
And you wanted to change that because I know about 3 years ago, you had this story about being in the Middle East and Filipinos were at a disadvantage because of how people perceive them. How important or how powerful are first impressions?
First impressions, very difficult to change. Once it's made, it gets stuck there. And it takes a lot of doing to reverse it. So that's why I tell my clients, you know what, better prepare first time around, because the second or third time would be much easier once you've established that clear-cut professional image at the start.
So give us a crash course. What makes a powerful first impression? I know that there's the wardrobe, there's the way you carry yourself. Give us a top 3 tips, for example.
All right. First of all, it's the self-concept. A person who doesn't like herself, it's very difficult to project confidence if you are doubting yourself. The inner you. So self-esteem is very important. And how do you do that? Self-affirmations, believe in yourself, and take stock of your greatest strengths. And that's how you move on from there. But of course, it doesn't mean to say you're blinded to your
Weaknesses.
what we call, yes, the some things to improve on. So you work on it as well, but use your strengths to move on to your goals. So to catapult yourself to where you want to go.
You've got self-esteem, confidence. What about wardrobe? Is there a color that conveys a certain message of power, for example?
Yes, indeed. But of course, I would suggest that we know our best colors. And yet there are certain occasions where you have to sublimate that with what you believe would be best for that occasion. So for example, in business, the most powerful color is navy blue. So notice I'm wearing navy blue, all right? And of course, the less colors, the better, because you got too many color breaks and it's disconcerting, it's very distracting when you have too many designs. And it's almost like psychedelic effect, so you would want to avoid that.
Red is not the powerful color?
Red is a powerful color, but it can be intimidating sometimes, so you need to put a color break. And I would say it's very difficult to have all red and come out looking good, meaning creating the best impression. If you must wear red, I would say top it off with a black blazer. That way it's like
Yellow.
balance. Yellow is good too if your skin tone looks good in yellow, because it's a delicate color to be worn, because some people wear it and they look so pale. So my suggestion is always, before buying any wardrobe, so you don't waste your money, do a color check, a draping. Put the color right under your face. If your face glows, that color is good for you. If your face suddenly looks pale, don't buy that.
So there, you're
Yeah.
looking for that glow. How about for the shoes? I've heard before that if you want to convey power, your shoes should be very pointed. The more pointed the shoe, the more powerful. Is that true?
It doesn't apply all the time. It depends on also what you're wearing. And I suppose you must have noticed my shoes too.
Yes.
Right. But it's not true all the time. But what I would suggest is for women to avoid showing their toes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where you open toes and then open heels. It makes it very much less formal, and it's almost like you're not very serious about your business. And for the men, I would suggest the Oxford with the shoestring and then the loafer, but in black or tan, because men cannot wear shoes like us. I mean, all those different colors. But even for women, I would suggest both in their dress and their shoes, more of the neutral colors.
Neutral is safer.
Yes, it's the safest.
So how about in the way executives carry themselves? What are the common mistakes?
Some executives I notice are careless with their body language. Some of them are good in their dressing, and you can tell they are, of course, very confident. They are succeeding, but sometimes they don't realize, for example, that when you keep on doing that, it's actually saying, I know more than you. I don't care what you're saying.
It's
I know
arrogance.
best. Yes, and it's like you've already closed your mind.
Okay.
And that is a turn off. And of course, it speaks volumes. But a lot of them, I've consulted with a lot of executives, they don't know that. I said, oh, you mean you did not realize that? No, I've been doing that all the time. Oh my gosh. I said, one, is it very cold? Are you feeling so cold? Or two, it's almost like,
Yeah, take a step back. So what else, aside from this action? What are the common C-suite, C-level mistakes?
Other things would be something like, for example, you have a table there or a lectern, they lean, like leaning.
You can't
doing
lean.
that. Oh no, it's like, I always tell them, imagine there are electrical wires there, and that when you lean, you get electrocuted. I tell them that. So pretend that you could get electrocuted, so stay away. Just see, because it would project a sign of weakness and lack of self-confidence or lack of energy, that you have to lean on something so that to keep you upright. So
How have things changed in the digital space? And now in the age of social media,
Yes,
there's
yes.
Facebook, Twitter, everybody can engage with
yes,
practically anyone in the world. So what are the basic tips that
Yes.
you can give executives to train?
this is something, Mimi, that I've noticed. For people like me, from the traditionalist, we've gone through those times where you need to send a letter and you make a personal call and wow, I mean everything now is like at the push of a button or voila. But our young people, the millennials and the Gen Z people, become very careless also. As a result, it's like they think, oh, I can just send anything and post anything and oh, I'm okay, I'm fine. But the thing is, we need to discern what to share and what to keep to ourselves. Because what you post is there permanently. Sad. You can't erase it. Oh my.
And would you discourage executives from posting personal stuff?
I would say the higher your position, the more careful you should be. What you put out there. Well, even if there aren't many criminals going after you, like abducting your children or kidnapping your wife and all that, or even you, I would say keep it strictly business, and as far as personal is concerned, it should be only for occasions that are fit for sharing, but not the more intimate ones, because it could come back to bite you.
Let's talk about the industry you're in, Dina. This is image consultancy is a big industry in the U.S. You've got consultants for big companies like Pfizer, Walt Disney. My goodness, I was surprised when I saw the name Walt Disney. American Express also gets these consultants to train their executives. Is it the same for the Philippines? Are Philippine companies investing enough in this too?
Mimi, I'm afraid it's not the same here. From experience, a lot of, especially the female executives, some male executives also are quite shy about seeing or hiring image consultants. It's almost like they will avoid you like the plague. It's like they believe once people know that they saw an image consultant, it's almost like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with the way he looks, or it's not embraced as fully as it is in the US, Europe, or elsewhere. No. So I find that myself and other image consultants like me, they go to training, they go to coaching, you know, they go to a class inside a corporation because the top guns don't want to be involved in that. They don't want to pay a lot of money for that. It's almost like, no, they can afford it, but they don't want to be known as having consulted an image consultant. Yeah. See, this is strange, but that's the way it is.
Or maybe they don't want the perception that they are trying hard?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. But for those who are shy, of course, you came out with a book,
yes.
Beyond Looking Good.
Yes, I want to share this with our viewers. This is not available at National Bookstore, but they can order it from me.
Online?
Online. And they can look me up at the www.speakerstrainers.com.
So even for speaking, you train people?
Yes, we do. And we give services like writing the speech for you.
Amazing.
And then letting you practice and then pointing out how you can project better.
Exciting and very interesting work. It's all about projection. Thank you very much, Dina, for joining us.
Oh, Mimi, it's a pleasure. Yes.